71 now confirmed dead aboard a Russian passenger jet that crashed just after takeoff. Investigators say that the crew didn't report any technical problems before the crash. So far, no word on the crash itself, as we see some video there of the wreckage.
For much more insight now on this, we'll bring in former FAA and DOJ attorney Mark Dumbroff. Mark, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay, so what we don't know right now, at least, is a definitive cause of this tragic, fatal crash. So let's go through what we do know. As Leland reported here, just a few minutes, some are saying 4 minutes after takeoff, it descending, I'm reading 3,300 feet per minute. I mean, just a rapid, just fall from the sky, not being very far up, not at cruising altitude, anywhere close. Eyewitnesses reporting fire, blaze, them seeing from this. What more can you tell us?
Well, I think the problem right now is the fact that we really don't know anything, Ebony, and the question is what will the investigation show? Certainly the aircraft, because it's a regional jet aircraft, had black boxes, which are actually orange, as you probably know.
Sure. And it's been found?
The reports are they've been found. You have the cockpit voice recorder, which would record what's going on in the cockpit. And then you have the flight data recorder, which records a number of parameters regarding the operation of the aircraft. And I'm sure those are in the process of either being returned to the lab where they can be read out or actually being read out. But you're absolutely correct that we know that the aircraft crashed about 10 minutes after takeoff during a period of time when it should have probably still been climbing to cruise altitude. And the rate of descent, any rate of descent at that point would be questionable in terms of the fact the aircraft should be climbing, but certainly the rate of descent of 3,300 feet a minute that's been reported would raise the issue in your mind of a problem. Pilots, under those circumstances,
because it's being reported, real quick, Mark, that, and I guess the black box will tell us more, and the audio recordings, per your point, will tell us more, but I'm reading reports that say that this pilot was saying there was a mechanical error, there was a problem, and was requesting clearance for emergency landing.
Well, there are three priorities for pilots when they're confronted with an emergency or an issue. And the first is to aviate, to fly the airplane, make sure the airplane stays in the air to the extent they can do that. The second one is to navigate, to understand where they are in terms of over the ground, in terms of mountains, high terrain. And the third priority is to communicate. So it's fly the airplane, navigate the airplane, communicate to the ground. So the question really becomes, one, did that transmission take place? And the black boxes, the cockpit voice recorder, that'll tell us. And then the issue becomes what in fact caused this emergency or other circumstance, and did the pilot have an opportunity to report anything?
Sure. Now, final question for you. 71 fatalities there. That feels tremendous for a commercial flyer. That's something we haven't seen in light of 2017, by all reports, the safest year for commercial flyers. Your take on whether this is indicative of just an overconfidence of commercial flyers, or do you think this is more of a contained issue and something an outlier?
That's really a good question. I think that in today's world of commercial aviation airline operations, and this was a pretty sophisticated regional jet aircraft, I don't think it's indicative of a problem. I think we have a very safe industry globally, certainly in the United States, so I don't think it's indicative of some sort of problem industry-wide.
That's excellent to hear. Thank you so much for joining us, Mark.
Thank you.